African small-scale farmers are hardworking, committed, dedicated, and persistent. They spend all their time in the gardens caring for their plants and animals all day long, all year round. Despite their sweat and toil, they remain poor and stagnant, and so they work extra hard just to make ends meet. The lucky ones can afford the basic needs, that is, a meal a day, water, and a place to sleep given they have dependents and children to take care of.
What do all these pictures and events have in common? What they have in common is what we see unlocks what we cannot see. What we see unlocks the invisible ties and bonds of sympathy that bring us together to become a human community. What these pictures demonstrate is that we do feel the pain of others, however distantly. What I think these pictures demonstrate is we do believe in something bigger than ourselves. What these pictures demonstrate is that there is a moral sense across all religions, across all faiths, across all continents, a moral sense that not only do we share the pain of others and believe in something bigger than ourselves, but we have a duty to act when we see things that are wrong that need righted, see injuries that need to be corrected, see problems that need to be rectified.
But they have three striking characteristics. 1. They never lose hope. 2. They never give up. And 3. They keep smiling with expectancy all day long. Is there a lasting, sustainable solution to this misery that has clogged the African continent for decades? Could there be a model that can alleviate this scourge consistently and progressively?
Perhaps most exciting to me is an idea that Bill Gates, Howard Buffett, and others have supported boldly, which is to ask the question, what if, instead of looking at the hungry as victims, and most of them are small farmers who cannot raise enough food or sell food to even support their own families, what if we view them as the solution, as the value chain to fight hunger? What if, from the women in Africa who cannot sell any food, there's no roads, there's no warehouses, there's not even a tarp to pick the food up with, what if we give the enabling environment for them to provide the food to feed the hungry children elsewhere? And Purchasing for Progress today is in 21 countries, and guess what? In virtually every case, when poor farmers are given a guaranteed market, if you say, we will buy 300 metric tons of this, we'll pick it up, we'll make sure it's stored properly, their yields have gone up 2, 3, 4-fold, and they figure it out. Because it's the first guaranteed opportunity they've had in their life, and we're seeing people transform their lives. Today, food aid, our food aid, huge engine, 80% of it is bought in the developing world. Total transformation that can actually transform the very lives that need the food. Now you'd ask, can this be done at scale? These are great ideas, village-level ideas. Well, I'd like to talk about Brazil, because I've taken a journey to Brazil over the past couple of years when I read that Brazil was defeating hunger faster than any nation on earth right now. And what I found is rather than investing their money in food subsidies and other things, they invested in a school feeding program, and they require that 1/3 of that food come from the smallest farmers who would have no opportunity. And they're doing this at huge scale after President Lula declared his goal of ensuring everyone have 3 meals a day. And this Zero Hunger program costs 0.5% of GDP and has lifted many millions of people out of hunger and poverty. It is transforming the face of hunger in Brazil, and it's at scale, and it's creating opportunities. I've gone out there, I've met with the small farmers who have built their livelihoods on the opportunity and platform provided by this.
Farmers Bay is a platform that is connecting small-scale African farmers to the global consumers through contract farming. We are reinnovating the current closed supply and distribution chain. Why Africa? Africa has one of the best climatic conditions all year round that makes farming of both plants and animals conducive and consistent. Africa has some of the rich soils favorable to a wide range of plants and has a lot of unutilized tracts of land. Africa has enormous manpower to help scale up this. Farmers Bay will ensure that the minority small-scale farmers in Africa participate in the global capacity building of African farm outputs export market. The benefits of this initiative is that the global consumers will enjoy uninterrupted and regular flow of raw materials and farm outputs, protection from fluctuation in market pricing. Long-term planning will be made possible. It will help organizations build long-term commitments with suppliers. There will be a dedicated supplier base which will generate goodwill for the organizations and consumers as a whole. And in return, the farmers will greatly benefit through this project, as there will be consistent demand and assured markets for their produce. They will benefit from high-quality yields and returns. Prices for their produce will be stabilized. There will be reduction of middleman exploitation. Farmers will acquire better skills and improved farming techniques and technologies. This will eventually generate massive jobs within their communities. The initiative will promote economic growth through exports, global partnerships and integrations, and increased foreign direct investments. Farmers Bay brings together farmers, global and local consumers, advanced farming tech companies, venture capitalists, governments, financial institutions, development partners, non-profit organizations, charities, derivative markets. This will form one complete ecosystem geared towards a global institution.
Because food is one issue that cannot be solved person by person, nation by nation. We have to stand together.
And then take development, and take the partnership we need between our countries and the rest of the world, the poorest part of the world. We do not have the basis of a proper partnership for the future. And yet, out of people's desire for a global ethic and a global society, that can be done.
Think about Malthusian nightmares. Will we be able to feed a population that will be 9 billion in just a few decades? This is not a negotiable thing, hunger. People have to eat. There's going to be a lot of people. This is jobs and opportunity all the way up and down the value chain.
But we must then build a proper relationship between the richest and the poorest countries based on our desire that they are able to fend for themselves with the investment that is necessary in their agriculture, so that Africa is not a net importer of food, but Africa is a net exporter of food. So my argument today is basically this. We have the means by which we can create a truly global society. The institutions of this global society can be created by our endeavors. That global ethic can infuse the fairness and responsibility that is necessary for these institutions to work. But we should not lose the chance in this generation, in this decade in particular, with President Obama in America, with other people working with us around the world, to create global institutions for the environment and for finance and for security and for development that make sense of our responsibility to other peoples, our desire to bind the world together, and the need to tackle problems that everybody knows exist.